Hello, everybody. Welcome back to day 4. I'm very excited. This is where we're going to be talking about some systems and tools, automation, and scaling. So all important things that are part of a business. And I know from myself personally, I've never actually thought about using systems and tools to do my business because as a network marketing, I just kind of came and inserted myself right into the system that was already in place. And I didn't really think about all these extra things that would benefit. So there's a couple of things that I've used based on how I was taught to do my business. And I realized there's a lot more. So I want to be able to go through some of those with you, some free options, some paid options. So obviously the paid options are going to have some more benefits and perks. But one of the biggest things about this that I do talk about inside the system. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Kiana. Hey, Rachel and Melissa. But one of the biggest things that I wanted to kind of emphasize is don't go after every single shiny system. Learn what works for you, learn what you're going to be interested in, learn what you want to do for your business, and really understand that. Because if you try getting every single item systems, especially ones that don't integrate together, then it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to get really confusing, and it's going to be a lot more challenging to do the tasks and things that you need to do. So look for stuff that works for you, find out what you want to have support for and what you want to have help with, and then we'll be able to do that. So hello, Kimberly. All right, let me pop up my screen for the presentation. And I think what I'm going to do later next week is do like a live on self-care, because obviously that's one of my big things. But what I've been realizing with all of this sharing with you guys, and I constantly say with attraction marketing, it's all about providing more content to people. So we want to be able to give and not drain ourselves and not burn out as well. So I think that's a very important part of it, is to be able to take time for yourself, because with attraction marketing, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of giving, and we want to make sure that you are able to recharge yourself. So I'll be sharing that later on next week. Okay. All right. So for this one here is equipping you, craft the tools to help you scale your business with more value and less time. All right. So that says day 1 recap. I forgot to change that one. So day 3 recap, not day 1. I realized what I made my mistake last time. So the importance of content, build your authority, credibility, and like factor. So we talked a lot about content yesterday, and Kelly had come on and she joined me talking about her experience and everything like that as well. So it also helps with better engagement with your audience, especially when you're talking to your target audience and you're talking directly to the people and your content has intention. So if we have meaning and we have a strategy and we have an intention, then it's going to be a lot easier, and our message is going to come across a lot better, a lot more confident, and people will respond a lot better to that. And it improves our search engine optimization. This is especially important for TikTok because they do have search in there. It's important for YouTube. It's important for websites and Google and all of that stuff. So social media posts, maybe not necessarily as much, but if you start on a platform, depending on what platform you want to go with, and you decide to branch out and do more, then you're going to want to make sure that you're aware of the search engine optimizations. And it strengthens your brand identity and authenticity. So again, the biggest thing is you need to be authentic. You need to be you. And having all of this for attraction marketing makes it about you, and it makes it about your target audience to help support them. Okay, just 1 second, I think. Just need to quickly take off my overlay because there's a couple of posts that are going to be a little bit lower. All right. Okay, so common mistakes with content. We went through a lot of different mistakes, but the biggest thing is not defining your target audience. So if you haven't had the opportunity to check out day 1's video yet about target audience, go ahead and do that. If you haven't signed up and you haven't received a workbook, then you can certainly message me, let me know, so you'll have access to that as well. But you really need to know who you're talking to, because it makes your content be relevant. And posting too many product posts, which in turn always makes us look more salesy. So if most of your products is most of your posts are products, then a lot of people are going to just see that, because if you're posting it and everyone else is posting it and your friend has a lot of other people that sell products as well, then that's all they're going to see on their news feed. If they don't engage with it, then Facebook pulls it off from the algorithms. So you want to make sure you're providing a variety and valuable content so that they want to see it and they want to engage in it, and people will be able to see your products. Not posting when your audience is online. So a big thing is you want to make sure that Facebook's algorithms, especially, the more interaction you have, the more visibility you'll get. So if you're not on at the same time as your audience is and you're sharing, then you're going to lose that connection with them and you're going to lose that chance of boosting right away. And no call to action. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of us do, and it's very easy to forget. But a lot of times we want to make sure that people have a reason to respond to us. So if you share something and you're just like, say a picture of a field because it's looking pretty because it's autumn, if you don't say anything, people will look at it and continue scrolling. Now, if you say, who's a autumn person, or what's your favorite part of autumn, or something like that, then that's going to be a call to action. You're asking a question, you're asking them to respond to you, and that will be able to get more benefits. Or save this reel, save this for next time, or tag a friend. Any of those types of things are call to actions, and it actually allows people to say, yes, I'm going to respond. All right, so things to help with your content. Different types. There are reels, blogs, posts, stories, podcasts, carousels, newsletters, challenges, all kinds of different things that are happening. The different styles are, for a call to action, Kimberly's asking, should a call to action be an open-ended question? I would say yes, we could have it as an open-ended question, because then that will help gain more interaction. Because if you give an open-ended question, they respond to an open-ended question, you might have a better chance of being able to give them a different question as well. Because say, for example, if you're saying, oh, do you like fall? And they say yes, right? I mean, you might be able to respond back and say, well, what do you like about fall? And depending on what the engagement is, they might respond back, or they might just be busy, or they may not pay attention. Whereas if you say, what's your favorite thing of fall? And they say, oh, I love when the trees change colors, then you can kind of respond back, and it's a little bit more connection, a little bit more personal, and you get a bit more out of them besides just a yes or no. And it helps make it easier. I'm not too sure. I know a lot of people said before you wanted to have their comments to be like 4 or more words, but I'm not 100% sure if that's still accurate. I haven't been able to find that. But again, the longer the response back, the more that it seems valuable for your content. So, and it could be anything as long as you're doing something for the call to action. So there's a lot of different styles and types of call to actions, and I'll share a post on that later in the week just to go through the different varieties of them. So different styles related to content, as well as educational, entertaining, personal. We do not want to forget the personal, because we want to connect as people as well, because we're not just our business, but we are a big part of our business, and we want people to relate to us personally too. Different themes, common mistakes, myths. The themes are what you're going to be mostly talking about when you talk about your content, because that's where you're getting the value, and that's where you're going to be able to debunk and overcome a lot of their objections from the product. So by the time they read all your posts and they decide that they want to purchase, they already know they want to buy. You don't have to go, well, it's too expensive, or I have to talk to my spouse, I have to think about it, because they've already made these decisions. Because a lot of the mistakes and myths that people prevent them from getting something right away means that you've already dealt with those, and they've already read and listened to them. And consistency when scheduling. Again, that goes back to posting when your audience is available. You want to make sure that you're as consistent as possible to post at the same time that they're on. Make sure if you're going to post once a week, that you post once a week. If you're going to post 3 times a week, that you're posting 3 times a week. And if you're changing up the different variety and styles that you're using. So you want to use different types and styles when you do stuff. Hi, Dorothy. And creating content pillars. So I'll help anyone with that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I can send a link to my calendar to help support you guys too, just to talk on one-on-one about it. But it makes it a lot easier to come up with a game plan and a strategy if you know exactly what you plan on talking about and what's going to help you with this, your customers' problems and solutions and how to overcome those. So it's a very, very important part is to know your content pillars and break it down into subtopics. And obviously, the most important thing is to be you, and you are enough. So you have to shine through. You're the most important part. You're the reason why they're coming. You're the reason why they're going to purchase from you, and you want to make sure that you're taking care of that. All right, so what you will learn today is we're going to talk about the importance of systems, tools, automations, and scaling, which I called stats for your business. Common mistakes people make when using stats. Different types of systems and tools that are available. Leveraging AI to support your business. Systems you can start to use to help your business. And actions you can take to help with turning your business into a real business. So the reason why I say your business into a real business is because I want you guys to really think about this. And I really thought about it when I went to leadership originally as well. So how is your business? Like, take a couple minutes to reflect on what it is that you're doing. So I had heard it broken down before that unless you're making money, it's just a hobby. It's not actually a business. So a hobby is something you do when you can because you're interested in doing it. You like the products and you want to share with family and friends, and you most likely aren't making any money. Or if you're making anything, it's not a significant amount. So say, for example, if you're sharing just to be able to buy your own products, buy whatever you have to spend each month to stay active, whatever the case is. So you're not actually making anything into it. You probably don't have any systems or tools in place. A side hustle, which is, again, I know a lot of people call their businesses side hustles, especially if they have full-time jobs as well. So you are setting aside time every month or every day, every week, whatever the situation is. It can vary from half hour to 20 to 40 hours a week. But it isn't a big deal if you don't get it done. So like you might be looking for people that are wanting to get an extra couple $100 a month, right? So you're more likely going to get a hobbyist person to come to build your team, and they'll be happy and content with just getting enough money to buy their own products. You might have a few systems in place, like you might have a scheduler in place, you might have a calendar in place, and you're going to make a tiny bit of money, but you're not putting a lot of energy and effort into it. And I mean, if you miss it and something else comes up, then that's okay because it's not the end of the world. So when you start treating it like a business, that is where you have a strategy in place. You have dedicated time that you do not miss because it is a real job, and you're focused on your growth, profit, supporting your customers and your team members through systems and tools. So you're going to be looking for a lot of these systems and tools and automation. You're going to be looking at what you can do to set up in place to scale your business and grow your business. And you're going to be putting a lot of effort and energy into it. So a lot of people that do treat it like a business, they do it full time and they don't necessarily have anything else that they're doing. Some people do both. Some people have a regular job as well as they do still treat their business like a business. So I find that a lot of this relates to mindset. So to be aware of the way we're treating it. So I know myself personally, I never thought of it as a hobby. I always thought of it more, I was like, oh, it's a business, but I was treating it like a side hustle and I didn't have anything set up in place. And when I went to the leadership back in March, that's what really got me thinking about this is a lot of the diamonds and a lot of the other higher ranks that we're talking. The first thing, that common thread that all of them talked about was having a calendar, having a system, having something in place. So now the higher ranks you go, then you can get like virtual assistants, you can get interns, you'll have a support team to help support you, or you might have people on your team that helps to do some of these tasks as well. But as you scale, you'll end up having more people to do some stuff for you. So you're not doing it all by yourself, right? So again, that's what the mindset of a business is. And that's why I started researching and I found out about attraction marketing and I started learning about different systems to use. All right, so the importance of systems, tools, automation, and scales. So I wanted to kind of I am talking about systems that are programs that were created, but something to be aware of as well is systems are manual too. So your system is how you greet your customers. Your system is your content. Your system is whatever you do set up in place. That gives you step 1, step 2, step 3. So it doesn't have to be programs, but I'm going to talk to it about based on programs. So for systems here, It's like the systems. The reason why systems are important to help us is they streamline processes and they ensure consistent results. So if we have a system in place and you follow the system, you're going to get the same results that you've been getting by using that system. And it helps with consistency. The same steps lead to predictable outcomes. So it's a lot easier to know what to expect when, if you have an onboarding system set up in place for new customers or however your business works, and everyone goes through the same thing, you have a better chance of having everybody having the same results or doing the same work if you treat everything the exact same way. I know for my business, we do wellness one-on-ones. I don't have a system set up in place for that. So that's what I'm working on now as I'm going through all of this. So I want to be able to have a very consistent, like, here's a conversation, here's some information, here's small bite-sized pieces so that they don't get overwhelmed right away. But I want everyone to have the same information. So that way I should have the same results from those people who go through that. Time saving reduces repeated decision making, cutting down on wasted time. So systems really do help on saving a lot of time, especially with the systems that help with analytics, to know, like, if you're trying to figure out when to post and you have a system that can help you tell that, you'll save some time there as well. And it's easy to train. So again, new members that can be onboarded quickly with established systems. So if you've got a system in place and it's working very well and it's easy, then you'll be able to teach other people and your team members, whether it's your new team that you're building or supports teams or virtual assistants or anything like that, that helps get everything set up. Great. So the importance of tools, it's enhanced productivity. So specialized tools help accomplish tasks faster. Professionalism, utilizing the right tools can elevate the quality of your work. Collaboration, some tools aid in teamwork, ensuring smooth communication and data analysis. Many tools offer insights and metrics to gauge your performance. So I know Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and a lot of other places, I don't have all the other platforms, but I know a lot of them offer insights. So they have these tools built into them because they want to be able to do the most that you can get and be able to learn and support you. And one of the things for professionalism that I wanted to kind of talk about, and one of the things that really stood out to me, was a lot of the people had a calendar to book on a calendar. So I kind of wanted to give an example of, say, if you have a customer that's interested in purchasing some makeup, and you have like these little small samples of like the lipstick or something, and they can't decide between some colors. And then you're like, well, I'll send you a sample and then I'll reach out to you once you get it and let me know what you think about it. So, or if they say, hey, I have some questions, I'm not entirely sure, I don't really want to order at the moment. And you're like, well, let's talk about it. So if you were to go to them and say, well, I'm available on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 2 to 3, 4 to 5, what does any of those times work good for you? And then they come back and they'd be like, well, no, I'm busy on this Tuesday. I have something else on Thursday, but I'm free on Friday. Are you available on Friday morning? And then you have to respond back and say, well, yes, I am, or no, I'm not. So it's a lot of back and forths, and it's wasting a lot of time. And we want to be respectful of our customers. We want them to show that we mean business and that we are professional, because what I've been starting to learn a lot is energy and time is a currency, and we shouldn't be wasting it. We don't want to be doing all that going back and forth, because it's not supporting anybody. And that takes, if you've got an hour to do your business today because you've got a lot of other stuff that's on your plate, and you're spending 15 minutes of that trying to schedule a time to talk to somebody, then you've wasted 15 minutes. Whereas what you can do instead, when you have a calendar to book time on, is say, hey, I would like to talk about this with you. Can I send you my link where you can go click a time that works for you, and we'll be able to have a meeting. I prefer Zoom because then you'll be able to see them one-on-one and have that actual human connection with them. But that's a lot easier because in your calendar, you already have your time put into place, right? So whatever times you're available for the week, that's already in there. So then when you send it to them, they have options and they can select the option that works for them. And then the automation will actually allow everything to be confirmed and booked. And you'll be able to go through. And I mean, that took a lot less time. You're look professional. They'll take you more seriously because you don't look as desperate. You're not looking like, well, I got this time, I got this time, I got this time. You look like you know what you're talking about. You look like you know what you're doing, and you respect everybody's time that's involved. So it definitely makes it a lot more professional in that sense. So if you don't have a calendar booking system, I would highly recommend getting one. so that it changes your mindset and it changes how you handle your business. All right. And the importance of automation, I talked a little bit about that just then. It's a time saver. So you can it automates repetitive tasks, freeing up time for other important work. So one part of that, again, is booking time into a calendar. So if you have a calendar and the person accepts and they book into it, instead of going to your own calendar and instead of going through setting up Zoom and everything like that, if everything is connected and integrated together, then the automation does that for you. So if someone selects to go onto my calendar, I can log into Zoom and the meeting is already there for me. So I just click on the meeting and it's good to go. So I don't have to go through all these extra steps to be able to complete these tasks because the automation does that for us. And reducing human errors. So computers are consistent and they can avoid a lot of manual errors because a lot of times we are humans. We do make mistakes. Sometimes when we put stuff into systems and programs, we can make a mistake doing it, but the computer itself would not have those mistakes. So unless there's a bug or something like that, but for the most part, it will be a lot more consistent and you reduce the errors that are related to human errors. A lot of the human errors that we make is we forget to follow up with people. So we might, if your business is one of the businesses where you sample people, like I've done that before. I think last year I sent out 150 plus samples, but I know there's a handful of people that I missed and I didn't go back to them. I didn't follow up with them, or it was months later. And then I click on their name and I realized that I didn't respond back to them because I didn't have any automation set up in place. I didn't have any organization, any tools to help me. I was handwriting them all down. So the human errors meant I lost potential business and I lost people knowing that I'm treating them and respecting them because I did follow up with them. Right. And automation can work 24/7 without breaks, holidays, or sick days. So it's constantly available. So as long as someone has my link, they can book onto my calendar as often as they want, whenever they need to. As well as there's some systems and programs that are put in place, chatbots, for example, that respond back. So if there's a lot of frequently asked questions, they might go into a messenger and then they might have those frequently asked questions there and be able to respond and answer right away. So someone isn't waiting to hear back from you because the answer is already there immediately for them to get the support that they need. All right, and scalability. As a business grows, automation can handle increased volume without any additional costs. If you're talking to 5 people a week, give or take, as an example, that's not so bad. But what if you scale and you do really well and all of a sudden you're talking to 100 to 200 people a week? It's a lot more time and it's a lot harder. Whereas if you have automation, then that will be able to take care of a lot of those initial conversations and filtering out the people that may or may not be interested. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. So again, the importance of scaling. If we want to think of this as a hobby or side hustle, we're always probably going to stay in the lower ranks for our marketing groups. And we're not going to think about anything on a much further scale. Like we all want to be able to do the business. We all know we're going to be in the business for a really long time to support our customers. We believe in the programs. But if you're not already in the mindset to scale and to kind of set systems and tools in place, then you're probably going to burn out a little bit easier, or you might notice that you're not going to change ranks and you'll stay the ranks that you are at for quite some time, especially for those that need to build teams in order to rank up. Right? So business growth allows businesses to handle increased workload and demand, and having that set up in place now and thinking about it before you actually scale helps prevent you from actually running into some mistakes that others have done, or knowing that you don't have your foundation set up correctly and having things fall apart. So if you all of a sudden had 20 new customers, if without having something in place to help support them, then you're more likely going to miss some opportunities for returns or ordering more stuff or supporting them if you don't have everything set up in place. And increased profits, so more capacity without significantly increasing costs. So a lot of systems and tools cost the same, whether you're starting out or you're making more income and profits with bigger teams or more customers. So a lot of them don't change. Some of them change based on the tier level, depending on what program you use. But for the most part, a lot of them will stay the same. So when you have more people, you'll get more profits out of using those systems. Flexibility, you can scale up or down based on demand and market changes. So there's certain programs you can change what you're getting out of them or what you're not getting out of them. And they do have that flexibility to move. And long-term success, businesses that can scale, adapt, and thrive in changing markets. So if your mindset is already ready to scale, if you've got systems and tools in place that can help you scale, if you have a way of being able to help support your new customers, help support your new team members, and they can use some of these systems or they could learn how to do the same tasks, then you'll find that it's a lot easier for a long term to stay into the business. All right, so common mistakes people make with stats. They're using too many systems and tools that don't serve your business. So again, there are a lot of systems out there. Like I went to ChatGPT and I was like, can you give me a list of systems and tools? And he had a list that was probably a mile long. Then I was like, give me systems tools that are related to coaching, give me systems and tools related to network marketing, to influencing. So there's a lot of different things out there, and it's going to be very easy to kind of get stuck or try one and see how it works, try another one, whatever the case is. So really think about your business first. So don't jump into something that you know you're not going to use, because you don't want to waste your money on purchasing systems and tools or using things that is not going to move your business forward. All right, and using systems that don't integrate together, you can kind of have a lot of gaps and things would be dropping out of the system if they don't integrate together. So for example, my calendar system integrates with Zoom. So as soon as someone books into my time, it will send them a link, and as I mentioned, it creates an actual meeting in my calendar for Zoom. And then I just log into Zoom and I can click to start that meeting because they integrate together. So you want to make sure not every single system is going to integrate with every single system that you're going to be using. Some of them may not necessarily communicate together, but you want to get them to streamline as easily as you can, because that helps with the automation and makes things a lot easier. All right, and over-reliance on systems and tools, losing the human touch. So I really believe in automation. I really believe in systems and tools to help make things a lot easier and more simple for us. But one of the things that I don't believe in is just relying 100% on the automation systems. You still want to be involved in your business. You still want to be involved with the customer interactions, but it helps make it easier to save time. Right, and not testing the automation tools before using them. Obviously, again, you want to look like you're a professional. You want to make sure things are working out okay. I know when I had people sign up for this challenge, I sent the the opt-in, the page for you guys to sign up for it, and it had the emails. And one of my friends had sent back to me, and she's like, "Oh, I got this email." And she screenshotted the email, and it was an email that I didn't know was sending. So I had to go through my system as well, and I couldn't figure out where it came from because I couldn't find it in my sequence for emails. So I don't know if somehow it got tagged into something differently. So again, we want to test just to make sure that we're not having any mistakes. If mistakes happen, that's not a big deal. We just quickly fix them, but we just want to make sure that we are testing things, so that way it looks, especially if you're wanting to collaborate with other business people, you want to make sure that they know that you're doing your business and you're treating it well, so that they know that you'll in turn do the same thing when you collaborate with them. All right, expanding and scaling too fast without foundations in place. So I talked about that. It's really great to be able to get more customers. It's really great to be able to build teams. But if you don't have your systems already set up, or you don't have a way to support somebody, then it's going to make it a lot harder, and you're going to have more errors, and it's going to be more overwhelming and frustrating and more likely to give up doing it. And last, not tweaking or changing your customer avatar and brand when scaling. So again, when you're first starting off new, you're going to have a smaller niche of people. We want to be very specific about our target audience. So if you have like one customer, one product that you could sell really well and communicate and talk about that, that's incredible. But as you scale and your business grows, your target audience is going to get bigger. Your reach is going to get bigger. Your visibility is going to get bigger. Your support team is going to get bigger. And you're going to be encompassing a lot more people into your team. So again, your personal brand will always be your personal brand, but your business brand will take on its own personality, and it will also, and part of it will be the other people that are in it too. So you want to make sure that you're aware that it can change and to change with it. And what you used to do as a small business compared to having like a medium or like a higher ranks, it really changes like what you're doing and like the processes you're doing and the work and tasks and stuff. So you want to be aware that you're going to change when your business increases too. And I like to think of with like law of attraction, picturing myself a year from now where I want to be in my business and who I want to work with and how I want to handle that, and start acting that way now. So a lot of times, for example, someone's like, well, I'll get a system once I get more customers. I will get a tool. I will figure out how I want to do my calendar. I will figure out how I want to do my tools once I get more people, when I get a bigger team, when I get more customers, when I do this, when I do that, when I have more income, whatever the case is, right? So the more you wait, then you're not going to change. Whereas if you're like, this is what I want to do, this is what my plan is, and you make those steps now, it'll make it easier to get to where you want to go. So some of the different systems and tools, and again, there's a huge list, but I wanted to try to focus on mostly stuff for network marketing, as well as not to have too much. But again, you can always research and find what works for you and what's important for your business, because what works for one business may not necessarily work for another business. All right. So the first one, customer relations management tools. I think that one is incredible. It also helps with not losing out on different interactions with people. So again, like I said, I had sampled 150 people. If I'd put them through a customer relations management, most likely I would not have lost any of those people, and I would have been able to respond to them and be able to follow up and lead with them. I know the system that I use, and I'll talk about later, the person who created it, she said that she had someone run just to see if they had any unread messages from customers, and they found one that was 4 months ago, and she responded back to the customer and apologized for not responding back sooner, and that person ended up purchasing her coaching program, which was, I think, a $5,000 program. So because she'd gone to the customer relations management and found that she hadn't responded to this person, she was actually able to get more for her business. Learning management systems, inventory management systems. Again, depending on how much inventory you carry, you may not necessarily need to worry about that type of programs and stuff, but it is something available. Or if you're a person that needs a lot of inventory, knowing what you have is very important. Funnels, that system, again, we kind of talked about it yesterday, where it could be organic. You don't have to go into a system. You don't have to go into like a website or step-by-step, but that's having the conversation where you have your content speaking to a lot of people. You have a call to action asking them to respond specifically for something. And then you take that conversation into the DM and be able to talk about your products. So if you're saying, I have a new product that's coming out, that's being launched. Are you interested? Are you struggling with sleeping? Or anyone who's struggling with sleeping, I've got something new coming. Who wants more information? Then that's the first part of your funnel. The people responding back saying, yes, I do is the second part of your funnel. And then you saying, hey, I'll message you in the DM and I'll talk to you about it. And going over there, then you've got narrowed down. So not every single person that's reading that content is going to respond to you, but it does help. And a lot of funnels do the same thing, and they can be done on automation. So you might have, once your visibility goes up and you scale, you could have thousands of people going through it, but you're only going to filter down to the people that really are interested and who want to have a one-on-one conversation with you, for example. And content or social media management systems. So again, content is very key for a lot of this. Having schedulers in place, programs that can help with analytics and all that stuff will make it a lot easier for us. I currently don't have a content system in place, and I know that's the part of my business at the moment that I am struggling with, because I don't have anything scheduled and I'm not being consistent with the time that I'm doing things. So it is something that I'm looking through and I'm wanting to add in, but I just haven't done it yet. All right, so some of the tools that we have, calendar and booking systems. I mean, if you don't do anything, I would highly recommend getting this, because again, it just saves that back and forth conversations and you look more professional and it looks more respectful for your time and their time. Email or text messaging marketing system tool, social media scheduler. We talked about that already. Graphic designers, Canva, for example, to help make it very easy. AI tools, communication tools such as your Zoom or Teams meetings or whatever you're going to use to respond or talk to your customers. Tracking expenses. As you're scaling and using more systems and tools, you want to make sure you're keeping track of those for your taxes or anything else, or if people are purchasing from you, you want to be able to kind of keep track of everything. And video recording tools, editing tools. And these are only a small list of stuff, but these are things that I felt we could use for network marketing. So leveraging artificial intelligence or AIs. Now, I don't know all the different systems that are in place. I've only started using them within the past 2 to 3 months. And I know I'm following a coach that she understands and studies AI. And she's in the workbook, Dewey. She's one of the ones that I spoke about with the personal branding. So she shares, so a lot of her posts is here's different AIs for video editing, for audio, for creating an avatar, for voiceover, for getting rid of watermarks. Like she's got a lot of different ones. Like there's AI systems. I used one the other day that got rid of a background in a video. So I just had the one picture in the video and everything like that. So there's a lot of AI tools out there. The one that I use very frequently is ChatGPT. I think it's a daily one for myself. So some of the ways that you can use AI to help leverage for your business is, so I wanted to use this as an example. This is what I personally wrote out that I wanted to say that AI helps with the business. So it helps with getting clarity on what you want to say. It provides you with a better wording or make your post sound more formal, casual, witty. Can help create posts or content by writing it out, and you can tweak to suit yourself and make it sound like you. Using it as a sounding board to get second opinions or thoughts. Many different types of AIs available and many people creating more on a regular basis. So there's always a lot of different ones that people are coming up with. And a lot of people are creating their own personal ones that they use as part of their coaching to get more people to use their coaching programs. It's a benefit that they have is that you have access to their AI system that they created. Now, I took this paragraph right here and I put it into ChatGPT, and he came up with all of this here. So this was his words to kind of help clarify what I was saying and to use better words, right? So as you can tell, there was quite a bit of conversation here. So what I had said to him was, it was, how can I make this sound better, right? So the first one, he said, achieve clearer communication. So you refine what you want to say with AI's assistance, ensuring your message is conveyed clearly and effectively. You tailor your tone, whether you're aimed for a formal, casual, or witty tone. AI can help craft wording that perfectly suits your style, enhancing your connection with your audience. Effortless content creation. Start with a draft from an AI tool and tweak it to your taste. It's like having a collaborative partner who is there to assist in birthing your ideas into a well-articulated post or content piece. Valuable second opinions. Use AI as a sounding board to validate your ideas, providing a second opinion, and then can help bring new perspectives or refine existing ones. A wealth of options at your disposal with numerous AI tools available and more being developed regularly. You have a rich array of options to choose from, allowing you to find the perfect tool that aligns with your needs. So he said the same thing that I said, but he said it in a lot better, in my personal opinion, a lot better word choices, and to make sure that it was more professional sounding and more clarity on what I was trying to say. But then I also thought it was too long for this sort of post. So I was like, can you shorten it for me? So then he went and said, gain clarity and fine tune your messages with AI assistance, easily modify your communication tone to be more formal or casual, swiftly create initial drafts and personalize them to your style, utilize AI as a sounding board for diverse perspectives and ideas, take advantage of the continuously growing range of AI tools available. Right. So he was able to fine tune exactly what I said to make it sound a bit more professional. And I read it to make sure that it is something I would say. So now some of this may not necessarily be something that I would say, but I just wanted to show you exactly what he did if I were to kind of copy it out. So you still want to make sure your voice comes through though. So if these are said in a certain way that you wouldn't, make sure you change it. But I think it helps a little bit better. Okay, so that's one example for AI. AI also helps with increasing efficiency and productivity. So AI can edit and even type out the work for you, but you want to make sure you're reviewing it. So for example, I knew I had to, I can't quite remember what I had done, but there was something I needed him to write out for me. I think I did it for my post for the lavender, for example. I know the top 10 uses for lavender. I know the different ways of setting it up. But I also knew I was running out of time. So I went to ChatGPT and I was like, can you give me the top 10 uses for lavender? And he copied it out. And then I was able to take that and write it in. So I'm a fast typer. A lot of people aren't. They do struggle with typing up their content and posts and stuff like that. But I'll never be as fast as an AI system is. So I think that's really good. And also, again, he can change from, like, I had my story from a girl. I asked him to put it from a boy's point of view. So then he took all the she's and he's and changed it. So I didn't have to go through it. It was already done. As well as when I do my stories, I'm like, I need you to edit to add, make my character sound a bit more witty, and they'll be able to make those changes too. Or any grammar and editing, they'll go through, be able to help with your punctuation and grammar. Right. So enhance decision-making by going through analytics. So there are some AI systems, again, Facebook and all of them do use the AI to help go through analytics and insights. So they do help with those. They streamline repetitive tasks, freeing up time for strategic ideas. So again, a lot of the systems and tools we talk about are AI. And quick, accurate responses for customers, especially for frequently asked questions. So again, you're not spending your time answering quick questions. You're spending your time on your business. You're spending your time on your customers or creating strategies and supporting people. Or taking time to yourself, of course, which is important too. All right, so your business strategy: simplify designs, leveraging AI tools to create visually appealing graphics and marketing materials with ease. There are tools out there that can create graphics for you, or if you come up with an idea, they can help you do that or give you some suggestions. Seamless planning: use AI to automate scheduling, avoid overlaps, and ensuring smooth sailing. Personalized marketing: analyze data to craft marketing strategies that resonate with your specific audience. And predict trends: stay ahead by utilizing AI to foresee market trends and adapt strategies promptly. So again, there's a lot of different systems and tools out there. I wouldn't say jump on everything, but just kind of see what you need for your business and what you're interested in checking out. And if you follow Dewey, like I said, she gives a lot of AI information to help support. And I've gone in and played with a couple of those AIs. Some of them are free, like ChatGPT has a free version, and then they have a paid version. And then you've got some that only have paid versions. So again, it depends on who created it and what you want to do for it. All right. And another one is video and audio support. So they can do video editing, efficiently create professional quality videos with AI tools that automate editing, including transcribing and deleting words to delete the video. So I'm doing that right now for our YouTube ones. If we make a mistake in conversations, then I can go in and delete the words that was transcribed from us, and it actually removes it from the video. So I don't have to worry about trying to do that part of it. Content suggestions: develop relevant content by receiving suggestions based on the latest trends and audience preferences. I know there's a couple of systems there that they will show you trends for audios and music and everything like that. Graphic creations: create stunning visuals and graphics, automatically enhance your brand's appeal. And audio voice: can make a voice or audio using AI, and they can model it after somebody else as well. So if you don't want to speak yourself, then you can use AI too to help with that. All right, so I just kind of wanted to go through some of the systems that you could start using now. So I went through some of the free ones. I haven't used all of these. And again, I know there's a lot that have free options, and then they have the paid options, which gives you more. I haven't used Candly because I use something else differently, but I heard Calendly, is a very popular one for booking. MailChimp for email system. Trello is good for project management. You can set up boards and it can kind of keep track of your leads. So if you sample someone, then it keeps track of that, and then you can move them over as you go. Customer relations management for HubSpot. Graphics, Canva, they have that free option. Social media tools for buffers. So you can search and check out some of those ones. So some of the other systems that you can start using that are paid. I use Kartra for my calendar and booking system because it has everything in the one site. Email system, Kartra for outgoing. So anyone who signed up for this, they got emails that I wrote up, and that was put through in Kartra, and it was sent out to you guys. Project management tool, again, Trello is really good for that. Customer relation management, I use Group Track, which keeps track of within Facebook. So Group Track is created for Facebook and Instagram to help keep track of my customers, because that's mostly the platform I use and where I do a lot of leads and looking for customers and talking to them and communicating. And graphics, Canva, again, if you get the professional version, then you're going to have more access to elements and tools and graphics. And social media tool that I'm looking at that I haven't tried yet is Later, but allows you to schedule multiple platforms and be able to be more consistent with your scheduling. Okay, so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Kartra. I was going to show it to you guys, but I know it's also a very big program. And this one is for like an all-in-one type of business. And we haven't touched on a lot of this stuff here, but it does actually has a section for products. So I know for me, I do sometimes a 1-week sample for people. And I'm going to set it up into the product system. So if someone's interested, they click on it, they can purchase it, and it'll get sent out to them. And then if they decide to purchase the products, then I would take the money that they spent on the sample, I would put towards towards their enrollment or what they're purchasing. So that way I'm not losing money if they decide not to do it, and they get the perk of having that money come back. The communication side, that one is for the emails. Pages, they can create different website type pages or the options. So like when I was requesting the emails, then that page that had the download for the workbook or had the video on it. Forms, that would be surveys. So you guys are going to get a survey tomorrow. That would come from this section. Memberships, this is where you can create a portal to allow like courses, or I have one that I'm in the process of setting up where if I have a new customer that joins me in my business, and then I kind of give them the basics and the 101s and the frequently asked questions or how to use their account and kind of go through the step-by-step on how to place their own orders. So all of that will be done in the membership section. For coaches, they can create their course content in there and have people log in to be able to go through the courses. Webinars, media, that's all the videos and pictures that they capture that you use. Calendars, that's where you get your booking, so you'll be able to have people book into it, and this one does integrate into Zoom, so that's why I really like this one. Surveys there, forms, that's the opt-in form where we collect the email address and names. Surveys, they have a help desk which gives you for your frequently asked questions. Funnels that I had mentioned before about making sure we get only the people that are interested in your service and products as opposed to everybody, because you don't want to waste time on someone that's looking for freebies. You don't want to waste time on people that are not actually interested in your products. So a lot of times I know I've had people know what essential oils are, and I'm like, would you be interested have you tried it before? They say no, and I'm like, would you like a sample? They say yes. I send them a sample, but they've already tried essential oils. They're already aware of it because I know they've also taken samples from other people that I knew. So it kind of narrows down and gets rid of those people that are not the people that you want, or people that might be curious, but they're not quite curious enough to purchase, or they're not ready to purchase. Campaigns, that's just what they call when you set everything up together. So if you have a form, a survey, pages, everything, you can share it. So Kartra makes it very easy. If I were to set up something, say if I wanted to set up to share a free PDF guide or checklist with my customers, and I have my team, then I could give them the code and they'll be able to use the same checklist and guide, but set it up with their own emails and be able to have share that with their own customers. So again, it makes it really easy to be duplicatable to your team. And they do integrate with different ones, as well as they have a lot of people in their marketplace that has affiliates and setup. So you could, if you offer something and you don't quite suit the customer that you have, then you might be able to have an option for something else and get some money for that too. Okay, I don't know if there's any questions. No, I was going to show you guys Group Track itself because it's one of my favorite ones. But unfortunately what happened is I downgraded my system from, because I had Instagram and Facebook, but I didn't have enough people on my Instagram yet. I'm still building that audience. So I downgraded, but I accidentally canceled my subscription instead. So I'm working with the team to get access back to my system. So I don't have it at the moment, but one of the things that I really loved about the Group Track is I was able to send bulk messages at a time. So again, it was the help with the automation. So instead of me, say if I had like 30 people that I wanted to talk to or like ask my team. So I like to check in with my team to see how they're doing personally themselves each month, but also if they have any questions related to the products, just to make sure that I'm there for them to support them. So, but you can imagine how long it takes to click on 30 different names to send them a message. So what this Group Track does instead is it actually allows you to create a template. So I put in what I want to say, and I can have multiple different versions. So I can type the 3 or 4 different things, and I can select different greetings. I can select different endings. And I just put a list of the people, like 30 people that I want to send it to. I put their names on that list, and then the system will automatically send them that message. Now, before it sends the message, I can go in and I can personally edit it. So if I know one person, for example, her kid was sick last week, then when I'm setting up that message, I can go into that person's specific one and say, hey, how are your kids doing now? Are they feeling better? Right? But I won't necessarily send that to the other 29 people, but then I still have that little interaction. So what I do then is once those messages go out, if the people respond, then I personally go and respond to them. If they respond at a later time, then they can do that as well. Right. So it's one of my favorite parts of Group Track, and it is in one of the more higher tiered parts of it. Post tracker and comment to respond back to people. So a lot of people use this when they have higher amount of people responding to their posts. So if you've got like 4, and again, I use it too with a little bit of people. And if you want to be able to respond right away and be able to respond quickly to kind of build that engagement, then this automation can do that as well. So for example, I shared a post one day and I asked people, it was my affirmation post. I don't know if any of you guys had seen it, but I was like, for every heart that I get, if you guys can, I will share a daily affirmation. So a lot of people were putting their comments for their hearts, and they were putting their comments or liking it. So what I had done is I responded to some of them myself, but I put them into the system as a post tracker, and I wrote down the comment I wanted that I would say that I wanted to send to the people, and the system went ahead and responded and did those comments for me. So that way, but again, that's where you want to be careful that you don't lose the human touch to it, because I was still going back to that post and I was still checking and following up and responding, but it responded to people that had messaged overnight. So it looks like I was there responding right away, and it helps with the visibility and the algorithms for Facebook. And you can help organize your potential customers. So they have it set up with pipelines. I could probably take pictures later, but they have it set up so you can organize the people that you have. So say if you had some people that you sampled, you can have a row and a list of those people. And then when you hear back from them, if they want to learn more, then you can move them into a different section to learn more. I have one of mine set up for my current customers. So I had sent out a survey asking people who would like to hear about classes that are being taught, who would like to hear about the sales that are happening, who wants to hear about new products that are available. So I had all of those questions set up, and I created tags. So people were like, yes, I want to know about the classes. Then what I had done is I put a tag in. So anyone who said, I want to hear about the classes at the end of the month or the start of the month, then I'm sending those people a message that talks about the classes that are available and upcoming for the following month. And again, and I send it as a bulk message. So that way only the people that wanted to know about the classes know about the classes, and I'm not bothering the people that are not interested. And I'm not going to waste my time or their time by having them come back to that. Right. And then you can capture your contacts from Facebook or Instagram. So I kind of talked about the tags and status labels. So I have one for people who want to be emailed. I have some for people who want to be messaged. I have some even for people that don't want me to talk to them on a regular basis, but I still want to touch bases with them. So I'm like, is it okay if I message you in 2 to 3 months? And if they say yes, then they're tagged as the 2 to 3 month person. So then in 2 to 3 months, I'll send them a quick message to see how they're doing, and then just move on if they respond. If they don't, then just kind of move forward for the next 3 months. Right. So it kind of helps to organize a little bit better. And one of the cool things I like about Group Track as well is it can go into your messenger and it can actually tell you if you have any unread messages or if you have any messages that you didn't respond back to. So you might have seen it. And I had that happen once before. I was looking for someone and I realized they sent me a message 2 months ago and I didn't respond to it. And I thought I was really good at keeping track of my messages because I check it on a regular basis, but I had missed that person. So somehow they must have been in my messenger. I opened up with it and I moved on to something else, not realizing I had missed them. So it really helps you to filter out to that parts as well. I'll try after I'm done with this to see if I can access it if they gave it to me, but I don't think I have it at the moment. Okay, so actions you guys can take. I don't know if there's any questions yet. what I want you guys to do, and I haven't talked about it, but it is your homework, is to complete a time audit. So again, we don't want to use every single system if it's not going to benefit you and you're not going to use it, because it's a waste of your money, it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your energy, and you don't want to grab everything at the same time. But the biggest thing is what you should be aware of is what you're doing with your time. So I mean, you could do it for personal, you could do it for business, but just see, like, if I noticed on Friday mornings, for example, I was spending an hour and a half to 2 hours messaging people on a regular, like, just to see how they're doing and following up with them. But putting it into that new system, the messages get sent. I just click one button, the system automatically sends it, and then I respond to them when they respond back to me. Okay, and you write down current systems that you're using, even if it's manual ones that you're doing, whatever you do to keep track of your current customers or how you're helping your team or new customers or anything like that. You can set up a booking system to make it easier to talk to your customers. Like I said, that to me, I think is one of the biggest mindset changes, and it really helps to shift your mindset when you have a booking system put in place. And again, it makes it look more professional to people, and they would take you more seriously and say, yeah, like, she's got a booking system, she's serious about this, let me go with that person. Right. Pick some systems that you would like to use. So the workbook I have, there's a lot of different options and examples. You could always check other systems and programs too. If you have any questions, let me know, because I've gone through quite a few of them, as well as the coaches that I talk to have gone through quite a few too, and they can say what they find is good or not good. And I know with Kartra and Group Track, for example, they have their own groups where they help support and answer questions. And they do trainings. So like the person who created Group Track, she does a weekly training to help people with their business. And set up a system for contingency. So in case something happens with the systems, like for me, for example, my Group Track is down at the moment. They haven't had a chance to refresh it for me to give me back my systems and my messages and my templates. So having something in place for me to be able to reach out to people will make it a lot easier. At the moment, I'm not doing it for a whole lot, but so it's not so bad. But if I had a lot more customers, or if it was at the start of the month where I would be messaging and talking to people, then my contingency system would be doing it manually instead. And it would be a bit harder, but I'm okay for the next couple of days to not worry about it. Collaborate or network with others to help support each other. So again, the most important thing is always try to collaborate and network, reach other people's audiences, see what systems are using, what works for them, and learn from there. And one of the biggest actions, change your mindset for your business and your systems and tools that support you. So already know where you want to go with your business, already know what you want to plan on doing. If it's going to be a side hustle for you, then I wouldn't worry about a lot of these systems, because you're not going to use them, and you're probably not going to scale really big to the point where it would make your life a lot easier to use it. But if you want to do more for your business and you want to help support a lot more people, then I would recommend looking into some of these systems, especially the all-in-ones or things that integrate together to make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so what does this have to do with you? My nice little hand. All right, so what does this have to do with you? Professional business development. Start to think of your job as a business where you have systems and tools to make it easier. So, I mean, a lot of our 9-to-5 jobs as well, there's systems and tools in place, right? Or standards and everything like that. So we should implant the same thing for our business. Using some tools like a calendar and a booking system allows you to show your customers you respect their time and your own, because energy is our most valuable currency. We do not want to waste our time. We do not want to waste our energy. So we can let tools and systems help reduce that. And build and scale your business by using systems that are easy to duplicate. So if you created a system and it's very complicated, or you need to be a really high-tech person to use it, or it's not easily shared, then you're going to find it harder to share with other people, or harder for your customers to go through like onboarding systems or your plans or emails or anything like that. So make sure it's easy to share. And what does this have to do with you? Personalized business structure. Use the systems that align with your goals and preferences, and take advantage of your uniqueness to sustain your business. So again, use something that's going to work with you. What's going to work with your core values, what's going to work with your branding, and make sure you keep you inside of it. So even if you're using systems, tools, and automation, make sure you're still there to keep the human touch. Don't take the human touch out of it, because we need that connection. It's a very huge part of social media. It's a very huge part of our businesses. So we don't want to take it away. We want to make sure we're still there for people, but just help you allow the automation to do its job too. And build a business with your strengths in mind. So again, know who you are, know what you do really well, and know what you can help support. So if creating graphics is not your strength, like I know Kristen had mentioned that, and Kimberly had mentioned the same thing, then if you have a team member that loves doing graphics, then that would help. Or when you scale your business, you can hire a graphic designer to be able to help do all of that stuff for you, so you don't need to worry about taking your time to do that. Virtual assistants, for example, as well, they might be able to do some simple things and tasks too. Okay, and more efficiency. So save time on repetitive tasks so that the automation can respond quickly to help support your customers. If it's a quick question and a lot of people have the same question, then having a system set up where that question gets answered makes it a lot easier for you, whether it's a video, an email, or a chatbot that talks to them. And again, instead of me messaging 30 people on a day, one day I can use a system to message, and then I respond back to the people who respond to me as they respond. Freeing up time will allow you to reach out and speak to more customers on a personal level, growing your connections and customer service. So if I'm spending 2 hours messaging 30 people and not really having that opportunity to talk back to a lot of them, it's taking up a lot of time. Whereas if I take 2 minutes, set up my my message that I want to send out, hit send, have it queue up and go out, then that's my 2 minutes time. And then I respond. I'd have the other hour and 58 minutes to respond back to those people. And you don't get in Facebook jail if you do it correctly. And being duplicatable and simple allows others to repeat and grow your team's sustainability. So again, if these systems and tasks can be done by the people underneath you, that will be able to grow your business, and they will stay with you a lot longer because they have the ability to scale and grow their business too. And you'll get people that have a business mindset as opposed to just being like a hobby or a side hustle, because you don't want people that are going to be looking for just $300 a month. You want people that are going to want to do the business to grow as well, because that obviously helps you grow even more. And then you can guys collaborate together, do teams, and they pull their strengths and you pull your strengths. So like I said, the homework is a time audit. So you can do this for your personal if you want. I like doing it for my personal because I noticed I was doing a lot of scrolling, and it helped me to stop that because I have a lot of goals that I want to do that's not related to my business or any, like, just kind of my self-care goals, what I want to learn, what I want to do, being healthy. And that really helps put in perspective where my time is going and what I'm wasting it on. Okay, so I have in the workbook a calendar for a time, but if you just write down the dates and times what you're doing. So say, for example, if today is a day that you spend 2 hours doing your business, write down what you're doing for those 2 hours. I mean, you can do a time audit for one day, but if you wanted to do it for like a whole week to kind of get into a routine of what you're doing, it's up to you what you do with it. But I would recommend just being aware of how you're spending your time, because I knew I was spending a lot of my time sending the same messages, but changing it, tweaking it a little bit. So I saved time by allowing me to use a program to help with that. Great, so you are enough. Tomorrow is going to be our masterclass, which is day 5. So it's empowering you through attraction, automation, and duplication. So we're going to take everything that we learned about in the last 4 days and kind of put it together, just kind of go through some mistakes that a lot of people make and some of the ways to help support us and everything like that. So to kind of put it all together. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want some time, like if any of these parts of your homework you're like a little confused about and you want some of my help and support, just give me a quick message. I'll send you a link to my calendar so that way we can just kind of plug in to find a time that will work for both of us and to be able to help support you, because I want you to answer these questions. I want you to be able to do the homework. I want you to be able to understand, because you're very important and I want your business to succeed and I want you to grow and do very well. So if I can be there to support you to do that, I want to be. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you're catching this on the replay, let me know. But I want to be able to see you succeed. Okay. All right. So I'm not too sure at the moment if there are any other questions. Let me just see if my group track is on. I don't know, like they usually take a couple hours to refresh to go through. Oh, yes, perfect. Okay. Yay. So I messaged them, actually, it was a half hour before coming on, and I said, it was supposed to be there. It's not there. I need to get it fixed. And they gave it to me. So I'm very excited. I was going to set up a quick, I wanted to set you guys up because I wanted to be able to message you guys once you responded into me, but I'm probably not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to select some random people and we're going to send them a message, and hopefully I'm going to be able to grab some of you guys too, but let me quickly share my screen. So this is the group track program. I really like it. And these are the different pipelines. So when you first set up with the pipelines as well, they kind of give you some that they create for you. So they got all of these ones that they just give to you. So I have one for my original group. So this is for my VIP group that I had done. So I put everybody from my VIP group into the system. So, or this one here is for my doTERRA customers. So they have my customers, the ones that are doing the monthly orders. And if there's anyone that I have this new customers that need consultations, then I can tag them over here, and it kind of keeps track of people. So for example, Sam, she came to join the challenge. So she's here in this list. And there's Joel, he'd asked me about some questions related to essential oils. So he shows up here, right? So it kind of goes through all these different setups. And then I have one for my group as well, right? So I was wanted to reach out to everybody to see if there's anything I could do to support them because they were in my group and I haven't heard from them in a while. Right. So then I've got a lot of people where I started messaging them to see what their responses were. So it kind of keeps track of everything, as well as I do have for messages. So they have like templates. So I've got some set up from previously to help me kind of message and respond to people. So for example, this one here, so it says I have different ways. So I can say hi there, hello, hey, hello there, and their name. And it says, I'm reaching out because you posted, like you made a comment on my post about this, and I wanted to ask some information, or if you're interested in this program, or like my checklist, for example. Right. So that's just, that one would send out to those people. But I also created it for my, 1 second, right here for my doTERRA customers. So again, I wanted to help support my team. So what I had done is I have, if the BOGOs are coming, because that's a big sale for doTERRA, sales and DMs. So I have here with the messages. So this is for September. So I sent a message to people to say, this is the promotion for the free product. Here's the promotion for the 10% off. And I kind of talked about, and again, I wrote it to what I wanted to say, you know, like I'm excited for pumpkin lattes. So I kind of change and I edit what I wanted to put into here, and I can put a close in for it. Right. So then I selected what I edited. So same thing with this one here for checking in the DM. So if I say, so for example, I'm saying, oh no, I already have hello. I am sending this message to show the people viewing my You Are Enough challenge how this program works. How are you today? I hope you are having a great weekend. Right. So you don't have to do an ad or a close or anything like that. Now, if I wanted to send, I can create another one too. So say, for example, I said, I hope you are doing well. I am just sending this message to show people in the challenge. I am running Okay, so again, I can kind of send that. So I'll send it to a couple people that I know won't mind. So again, I have my breakdowns for what I do, like the classes that are happening, just the monthly check-ins, and if I'm checking them in messages and everything like that. So the emails, I use my Kartra program, but they kind of have whatever stuff. So the blue ones are the ones I created, green are what they give to us to use. So then what I want to do is I want to go back into my pipelines, and I want to select, I'm going to go to my back to basics group. So I'm not, anyone who is a customer for mine, you guys will get this message. I don't know if I have everybody here. Just 1 second. So view contacts. Okay, so you can do table view. So a bulk action that I want to do is I want to send messages. So then I can select the message I want to send. So then you can go through the list. And again, my list is bigger because of what I have set up, but you don't necessarily need to do that. So check in with DM. So it just kind of gives you an example of what we're doing. And it lets me know who I can select for people. So I'm going to select Rachel because I know she won't mind. I know I actually, I sent it to my twin one day and he's like, this doesn't sound like you. It sounds like someone else. So Kimberly, Kristen, I'll send a message to my mom. Great. So there's a couple of people that I've sent. I don't know if I have, and you can search people, but if you haven't tagged them. So now again, because my system went down, I wasn't able to grab everybody into this list. So there, I'll send that. So what I'll do is I'll send these messages. So once I go through, I'm sending it based on Messenger. So that's where I want to send these messages to. And then I'm going to process this. Okay. So then it's going to send this list to these different people. So like I said, unfortunately, my goal was to set this up based on people who are in the challenge. So that way you would be able to respond to them. And I could do more with these contacts, but I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do anymore. I just want to do that part of it. So then if I want to see how the automation is going, then I come into this space over here and it shows that it's queued up, right? So I have this many people queued up and apparently I've got some other messages from previously that hasn't sent. So I didn't notice or pay attention to that. So they're probably going to send now as well. But again, where I talked about, we can go in to do the edits. So I can just come in here and say, hey, twin, for example, right? So obviously I'm not going to say that to everybody. But then I have that one for there. And then I could always come in here and say, hey, mom. So then that way I can send messages and it'll queue up and send to everybody. And again, I know my system's a little bit different. So this is the bulk messaging side of it. And I really like this part. But they also have the ability of, and you can add status labels to them or tags. So again, I talked about some of the tags that I have. So I tag the individual people based on emails, classes, new products. So then I'm able to reach out to those and filter out to those individual people. And let me see. Tools and automation. Oops. Right. I forgot there's a new, they have a new program. I have to do my Chrome extension, so I haven't done that part of it. So we'll stop sharing for now. But I can go through that a little bit further when I update my Chrome because it does change some of the products, but I was going to show you how you can track and post as well. So maybe I'll do that later today, do a quick video or something to show you, or if you guys have any more questions about Group Tracker or anything like that, or if you guys do have any questions, let me know. I'm here to support you guys. I'm excited. Tomorrow is the last day, but all the trainings will stay in the unit guides until September 30th, and then I will remove them because I will be doing it again in November to kind of go through the same thing with other people. Oh, I think I seen. Yeah, so that's everything I have. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, I want to be able to help answer any of the questions you have or support you to be able to do your business. So if you want to do a Zoom call later, we can do that as well. Have a good day, guys.